Hello guys, welcome to Victory Design and welcome to a continuation of our class on web development. So in today's session guys, we're going to be talking about indexing in JavaScript. Yes, you must have been in my previous class you heard me using index 1, index 2, index 0. Now today we're going to go in depth on what indexing is. Alright. We're going to dive deep into the concept of string index, which is very crucial for accessing and manipulating individual characters within strings. So guys, understanding how to work with strings is very fundamental in programming, as they are one of the most common data types you encounter. So by the end of today's class, guys, you should have a solid grasp of string indexing and slicing, along with practical explanations and applications that will enhance your coding skills. So guys, let us dive in. First of all, what is a string? Now for a recap, because we have dealt in depth on this in the previous class. For a recap, a string is defined as a sequence of characters enclosed in either single quotes, double quotes, or backticks that you can see right here, guys. Now they contain letters, numbers, symbols, and even white spaces such as space or tabs that we know. Alright. So these are some examples of strings. We have single quotes, which you can see. Whereby we have let string 1 is equals to hello. Now this thing I'm seeing here is a single quote. Then we have double quote, which is that's quotation into that's double of it. Then we have backtick, which is this, and then we have white space, which is this. Now these all are types of strings. Alright. Each of these variable holds a string value. Right. Now string 1 is a variable, string 2 is a variable, string 3 is a variable, and string 4 is a variable, and they hold a particular value. Strings in JavaScript are also immutable. What does that mean? It means that they are created and their content cannot be changed. Once they are created, their content cannot be changed. Now going forward, let's talk about indexing, string indexing. Now indexing is a method used to access individual elements within a sequence, such as a string. I recap, guys. It is a method used to access individual elements within a string. Now in JavaScript, indexing starts from 0. Now you heard me in the previous class talking about when we want to have an index, we start from index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3. You get? So it starts from 0, which means that the first character in the string is at index 0, and the second character is index 1, and so on and so forth. So for example, now this string of John, you can see here, guys, this J is index 0, the O is index 1, the H is index 2, and the N is index 3. Alright. So for indexing, we start from 0 and not 1. Now let's take another example now. Let's say we have this singing now as an example. Now in this singing we have SINGING. Now this first letter S is index 0, then letter I is index 1, letter N is index 2, letter G is index 3, letter I is index 4, letter N is index 5, and letter G is index 6. Alright. So that is how we calculate, or that is how we count our index in a string. Alright. So guys, you can access any character in the string by making use of the index. Now let me show you how you can actually do that. Let's just delete all this because these were used for as an example. Let's just take this off. Okay. Now let's say, for example, let's say let name. Let me just take all these guys off. Okay. So let's say let name. Let me just take the other ones off because I think I'm gonna be getting errors. Let me just take these guys off here. Okay, and then these as well. Good. Okay, now going forward, guys. Now let's call a variable name, right? Name, good, which is equal to a string, right? And let's say the string will be a name called Sylvester. Sylvester, right? And then let's console that. Console.log console.log bracket open. Now let's call the name, guys. Call it by the variable name. Then put in your words, your array, and then write 0 inside of it. Then do semicolon here. Okay, let's do that again. Okay, console.log console.log the same thing. Let's say name. All right, the same name, and then we have our array 1. So guys, I'm trying to show us how you can use indexing to access any character in a string. Okay, so let me just copy and paste the same thing. Control copy, control paste. So let me just continue this 0 1 2, control paste, 3, control paste, 4, and thereabouts. Now guys, now everything you're seeing that I just did here, what is this code doing? Now guys, the first thing that we set a variable and give the variable a name called name, right? And then we gave it a string called Sylvester, right? Now coming here, guys, we have that console.log name, and we have this is an array of 0, which means that this is supposed to input the 0th index. We are trying to console log the 0th index. All right, and then for this other line of code, we are trying to console log the first index, that's index 1. This one is console logging index 2, the other one is console logging index 3, and thereabouts. So now let me paste this code on my browser and see what it displays. So let me just clear this my console first of all, and then let's copy and paste this into my developer tool. Control, okay, and then paste. Now if I to press enter, this first particular code, this console.log name, of which we're trying to get the 0th index, will give us the S in Sylvester. Then the next one will give us Y. The next one will give us L. The next one will give us V, and the last one will give us E. And let me press enter on it. Now you see, guys, voila! It's as clear and simple as this. Now the first one, it gave us S. Second one, it gave us Y. Third one, it gave us L. The fourth one, it gave us V, and then the last one, it gave us E. That's because it started counting from S, which is the 0th index, down to E, which is the 4th index. So that this is as simple as how you can use indexing to derive or access any character in a string. So that now, unlike other programming languages like Python and C++ and the rest, JavaScript does not support negative indexing directly. However, you can still access characters from the end of the string by calculating their positive index based on the length of the string. Now guys, what do I mean? Let's particularize this. Let's come to our code and particularize this. What do I mean? Now let's say, for example, we have just making of this same particular code we just wrote. Now let's say we want to say console.log bracket the name, right? And then we are going to open an array, and then we'll say name.length. That's we trying to get the length of this string. Name.length minus 1. That is what we call negative indexing. All right. Now let's put my semicolon after this. Now what happens, guys? This will input this thing you are seeing here is going to input the last character. It is supposed to input the last character. That means if this code is saying that go to this string Sylvester, look at the length of the string and remove one index from the string. You get? So let me just come here and put it on my console and see what it will display. Let's put it here, Ctrl paste and press enter. Okay guys, now see what happens. It's giving us a syntax error. Why? Because this JavaScript does not support negative indexing, like I just said. If I use this now, if I use this code, right, this negative indexing on Python, it will definitely work. Because logically, it's supposed to go to our string, check the length of the string and remove ones from it. That's negative indexing. But because this is JavaScript, it does not support negative indexing. Alright? So guys, going forward, let us explore some more examples to fully and further solidify our understanding of what indexing is all about. So now let me just remove this and then let's clean out this code. Okay, let's clean out this one. And then let's do the same thing, right? Let's do the same thing. Let's say let name is equal to a string of Godwin, for example. And then we'll say console.log. That's once we put it to our console. Console.log bracket open name. Now let's get the say the second index. Let's say we want to get the second index. That is, let's put our array. Let's say 2, right? 2, which is second index, semicolon. And then let's also say let's also print out console.log. The same thing, bracket name. Let's say we want to print out the first index. Okay. And then the last thing, console.log. The same thing, bracket name. And then I was just choosing a particular index. Let's say name.length minus 2, and then we close our quotation. Okay guys, now I believe if you are following me, I believe you should have an idea of what those code is going to do. Now looking at those first line of code, console.log name index 2. So you're going to go to our string and pick out the index 2 from there, which is, that means since J is index 0, O is index 1, and D is index 2, it's going to give us D. Then the second code here, that's this one, it's going to give us the letter O, because that is the first index. All right, so let me just put this into my browser, come here and place it here. Do you see? Now for the first console it gave us D, like I just said, because D is the second index. For the second console it gave us O, because O is the first index. But for the last console it gave us undefined, because remember guys, JavaScript does not support negative indexing. All right, so hope you understood all I'm trying to explain, guys. Hope we got the logic behind this. Now that we've covered indexing, let's move on to slicing. Now we have what we call slicing string, or what I did dot slice method. Let me just write it in the comments. We have what we call the dot slice SLICE, the dot slice method. Now what does dot slice method do? Now in JavaScript, slicing can be done using the slice method. Now this syntax for slicing is used to slice a string, right? Now let me just come here and particularize this, guys, for you, so you know what I'm trying to say. The syntax for slicing is string dot slice bracket start dot and end. Let me just write it like this. String, let me put it in the comments. String, right? Anything you have, dot slice bracket the start, comma, and then the end. All right. So that is how we actually make use of the string. Now let's put that in a real code, guys. And let's say we say let name name of boy, for example, name of girl. Say name of girl instead. Name of girl is equal to Sandra. Sandra. All right. And then we then say console.log brackets name of girl, right? That we already code, that's the variable name of girl dot slice, right? Dot slice brackets. Now we want to slice. Now remember, guys, I said that if you say dot slice, the first thing you're going to see is the start and then comma, then the end. So let's say slice 1, comma, and then say 4. Means that start at 1 and end at 4. Start at index 1 and end at index 4. So this code is what this code is actually doing, guys, is saying that now look at this variable name of girl, which has a value of Sandra. Go there, slice it by starting from index 1 and ending at index 4. So now let me put this particular code on my console and see what will be displayed for me. You see, guys, what happened? It actually gave us and. That's because S is index 0, right? A is index 1, and we said that start at index 1, which is A. That's why it gives us A. Continue N, then end at index 4. Now S is index 0, A is index 1, N is index 2, D is index 3, and arrow is index 4. So it's not going to print out the first and the fourth. So it's going to print out the thing in between the first, which is the start, and the end, which is the fourth. Do you understand? That is why it gave us AND, which is index 1, 2, and 3. It has cut off index 1, and it has cut off index 0, and it has cut off index 5 and 6. Do you understand, guys? So that is also another practical example of how to use this dot slice method on our code. Now you can also omit indices when slicing. In the sense that if you omit the start index, that's this particular one, this one, if you omit this one, it defaults to 0. Meaning that it will start from the beginning. That means instead of saying 1, I can just put here 0. So that's now if I'm to put 0 instead, guys, what will it give to us? It's now display paste. Now display stand, because we have omitted number 1 from it, that's index 1. Do you understand, guys? So that is basically it. So using JavaScript now, going forward, guys, now slicing also allows for more advanced techniques by specifying a step value using substring. Yes, by specifying a step value using substring or similar methods. Now, however, unlike Python slicing with steps, JavaScript does not have built-in support for skipping characters directly in slicing. So there's no way it should not jump. Now we already said that it should start from 0 and end by 4. There's no way it cannot jump from 0 to like 3 and then jump from 3 to like 5. It cannot jump. That's what I'm trying to explain, guys. So guys, understanding string indexing and slicing has so many practical applications in programming. It has so many applications in programming, of which a few of them, right? A few of those applications is what we call data cleaning. Is what we call data cleaning. Now, when processing text data, especially from the user input or from files, you might need to extract specific parts of the string. For instance, if you're working with names and you want just the last name or the initials, you can make use of indexing. Now let me particularize what I'm trying to explain, guys. Let me particularize what I'm trying to explain. Now let's say for example we are having this code here. Select name, for example. Let's say you have a form, right? A user fills a form, of which on the form you have the full name, the last name, and the initials. And you are trying to get the user some specific strings from that input that the user has given to you. So now let's say for example we have a full name. Full name is equal to John. Let me say John Adam, for example. John Adam, right? And then we say that and say that the last name is equal to, let last name is now equal to this full name, that's the guy's full name. We are trying to get the guy's last name, right? Of which this full name is John Adam, right? So the full name dot split, right? Of which you have the bracket, quotation, right? And then coming here, we have the dot pop, which is in bracket as well. And then we have the semicolon. And then also we also have let's say the user's initials, right? Initials is equal to full name again, full name dot split, brackets, same quotation, quote, then dot map, then bracket open, part is greater than equal to part, of which we have this. Let's say we are going to index string 0, right? What are index 0? And then we then put dot join, of which we have a bracket and put a quotation inside, and then we have our semicolon. Okay? Now guys, looking at this code, we are trying to extract specific parts of this string John Adam that you can see right here. So now, for example, like I said before, we are working with names and we just want the last name or the initials. So this guy now is supposed to give us just the last name, and this one will give us the person's initials. Do we understand? This one will give us the last name, and this one will give us the initials. So let's just come here and do console.log, bracket, the last name. Now we're calling the last name, so it can print into our console, and then console.log initials, console.log initials. Now let me explain what this code is actually doing. Now we gave, okay, let me just move this and then do it like this. Good. Now we declared a variable and gave the variable name, full name, or we should give it a value, John Adam, right? Then we come to this code and said, let the last name is equal to this full name dot split dot pop, meaning that it will extract this Adam here and display just John. Do you get? Then for this other code, let initials is equal to this same full name dot split dot map. Now it's going to map part part of this particular string, and then go to the index number 0, right? Meaning that it's going to extract just this first J and then this first A. You understand? It's going to go into this code, look for the 0 index of each string. That is to come here, look for the zero index of John, which is J, right? And look for the 0 index of Adam, which is A. So it's going to give us JA. That is what this code is actually doing. So now let's console this into our developer tool and see what to give. Let me clear this up. Control paste and press enter. Do you see, guys? Do you see? Now the first console log, so the first console.log gave us, okay, I think I have, okay, we have M, right? Then we have John Adam. It's not giving me what I want, guys. There's an error somewhere. It's not giving me what I want. So let me just try to debug it. Although it's not showing an error, but it's not giving me what it is supposed to give me. Alright. So let me just try and go through the code and get back to you guys. Okay, guys, I know where the error is coming from. Now, guys, looking at this particular first code, this one, it is supposed to extract. It's supposed to extract just the Adam, right? And then this one will going to extract this first J and first A. So, guys, this is basically how you can actually make use of the dot split method, as well as the indexing or string indexing. So guys, please take note of all this because it is very important as we continue our class. We're going to be making use of them a whole lot. So today we've covered a whole lot about string indexing and slicing in JavaScript. We also explored advanced slicing techniques and discussed their practical explanations. So I encourage you guys all to always practice these concepts. Create your own strings and experiment with different characters or slices, and try also some advanced techniques as well. And if you have any questions, please do well to leave them on the comment section, and I will make sure to reply them as soon as possible. Thank you so much for joining me today, and see you in the next class.